All right. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Yeah, in the recording space.
This is, yes, my
Yeah.
closet, aka Studio Hebert.
It really works so good. Anytime you have a closet in a secluded part of the house or something,
The
that's mine,
aesthetic
right?
is really nice. It's
That's my
great.
closet behind me. The clothes help to muffle. You just move the amp inside and the mic inside, and
Oh,
everything works great.
that
All
is a
right.
sexy mic there, tired dad.
Oh, it's it's more of like a streaming slash podcasting mic. It's HyperX.
Okay.
He keeps
And
bragging about it anytime. So I mean, you're really like
I like
you're
it.
making his day asking him about it.
I like it. It's a good microphone.
It glows red.
It sounds good and it looks very sci-fi and
Yeah. Like it's great for like streaming on Twitch or something.
yeah.
So, so are you into sci-fi yourself? Are you a fan?
I'm a nerd. I'm totally
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean that's what we do here.
Yeah.
That's what we're down for, nerd stuff.
that
So-
that is the point of the podcast. So
Yes.
Where did your interest in fandom start originally?
Golly. I was a kid, and of course, every kid follows cartoons, so I was all about Looney Tunes, and then
Right.
discovered like Speed Racer, and then 77, because I'm 52 this year. 77 rolls along, and then this little independent movie called Star Wars comes out, and that just
I've heard of that.
yeah,
it became a thing.
at least in passing.
Yeah.
Yes. And it it was back then. It wasn't A New Hope, it was just Star Wars.
Right.
So that was pretty wild. And cable TV came along, and then I'd see reruns and watch them over and over again of it's good and bad movies.
Yeah.
I became a connoisseur of liking bad movies.
Oh, I can appreciate
Oh,
that.
oh yeah, oh yeah. We've done our share of what we used to call 2-star Tuesdays, where we would just find like a 2-star rated movie and watch it.
Yeah,
It was great.
I'm a big horror buff too, so I follow
Love horror.
on Shudder.
Yeah, bad horror movies are the best. Like I love a good bad horror movie because I mean they've made some good ones, but I feel like they always get horrible ratings because people don't understand how they're supposed to be enjoyed. Like you think of all the Rob Zombie movies that get such poor ratings, they're like, but they're really good, man. They're horror movies.
I understand them. I mean, yeah, the Halloween remake, it was pointless, but he did a good job with it.
Right. House of a Thousand Corpses was my introduction into the horror genre back in the day.
Wow.
And I think my parents probably would have freaked if they knew I'd watched it at such a young age. But I was just seeing the imagery and the art form was really like, yeah, I'm sold.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all that stuff. I go back old school, new school, found footage, all this controversial stuff that people either love or hate. It's like I like it all. I like psychological jump scare, this, that, and the other. And one of the greatest hybrid things, sci-fi and horror, was The Thing. Of course, John Carpenter.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, that's just brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, Space Odyssey and did you ever see Sunshine, the Danny Boyle movie?
Oh,
yeah, that one was fantastic. And then you get like horror comedies now that are just amazing features.
Mm-hmm.
I like the dive into the horror comedy genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because and that's a tough thing to dance on because comedy is subjective. It's like
right,
it hits or it doesn't, and then horror either does or doesn't. The horror genre itself to me is like it's the hardest thing to. I think it's harder than comedy because it's so polarizing. Whether it's the gore or the jump scare or creep factor, there's people that aren't satisfied with one or the other or all or whatever.
Right.
Like it's not funny, it's just gross and juvenile. Well, it's a horror comedy.
That's
Come
the
on.
point.
Yeah, we're supposed to gross you out. We're supposed to make you laugh, and dumb is the point.
It's sometimes the awkward moments are the funniest in those too.
Totally.
I know. What was it when Human Centipede came out? It wasn't supposed to be a horror comedy, but I laughed my ass off through a lot of those parts because those people are eating shit, and
It
that's
was
kind of
just
funny.
ridiculous.
It's a little funny to me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and the first one, it really wasn't overly graphic, but the thought of it, and it's like, okay,
Right.
and then 2 was in black and white, but it might as well have been color because it was so over the top, gross.
Yeah.
Third one, the guy, he passed away this past year, but he's like yelling everything for no reason. It's just like we're embracing this, we're just going full.
And then you got like a mile-long train of ass to mouth, and
Yeah,
saying it out loud is just it's ridiculous, and that's funny.
we need a C or D list select. What's Eric Roberts up to? I'll do it. How much you paying?
Oh shoot.
Kind of keeping on the same train, what are some of the other things that you really like to geek out on?
I love superhero stuff.
Yeah.
I thoroughly love the Justice League Snyder cut. And
Did you?
I did. I thought it was definitely superior, and I thought for people who balk about, it's 4 hours, think about what kind of where we are as a society now. We're all, and thanks to the pandemic too, streaming. People like watching and binging and doing all that. So yeah, if you're going to invest 5-10 hours in a show and get to know the characters, what's the difference with a movie that you're watching at home?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well,
It's kind of like
two
binging.
fans of Lord of the Rings, and those are the uncuts. 4 hours,
I actually
you know?
just finished. I finally picked up the last movie I needed of the extended edition, and I'm going to do. It's over 20 hours long, and I'm going to do a full run from beginning to end. So yeah, 4 or 5 hours. That's an afternoon.
That's
Button-a-thon, yes. That is it. But yeah, I love sci-fi. I love all the Marvel stuff.
yeah.
The Marvel's just kicking it, Disney Plus and the shows.
Those TV shows,
Oh, man.
Those,
I haven't watched the new
Revelation.
Winter Soldier and Falcon yet, but I did. My wife and I, we literally binged all of WandaVision in one night. We didn't plan on it. We just sat down and watched a couple episodes. We're like, we have to watch the next one. Okay, we have to watch the next one. And so we did.
Winter Soldier ends this week, so you can just binge that one too.
That's what we were waiting for.
I like that the TV shows that they're doing isn't the mainstream comic book stories. So you're getting a different version of it. Did you collect comic books growing up or anything?
Oh, yeah, and I still do from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm a little more finicky, and I'll get them because I'm out of room. I'm an episode of Hoarders, so it's a comicsology. It is like download.
Oh man, yeah, I do the same thing for manga.
Keep the closet clear for recording.
Yes, for crap. And, the occasional things that you don't need. Let's see, what do I have that's geeky in here? I have the Batman.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Comes with the Hot Wheels.
That's great.
Popped it open, watched one episode, and then this is beautiful, and then shiny.
Something else to watch. Yeah.
We're all short attention span nerds now, so.
That's
well,
okay.
I mean, they're just pumping out content, over and over and over. Like, there's always new content. It's just, yeah. It's like that GIF where the person has a bunch of hot dogs thrown at them. It's just.
Yeah, and for people who are just dogging on monster movies, come on, Godzilla and Kong. It
was so good.
The fights are there. It's like,
yes.
People stuff is stupid. It's like, have you seen a Godzilla movie?
Like,
do you
look, this movie advertised that there would be a giant lizard fighting a giant gorilla, and it delivered a giant lizard fighting a giant gorilla.
Multiple times,
yes.
This. Like,
and then they threw a robot in there. Like, perfect. I couldn't ask for more.
They stuck to the tradition of Godzilla. There are plot holes you could drive a truck through, and it's fantastic every second of it. I don't care.
I love how it turned into a sci-fi thing with spaceships, and then we're in the middle of the Earth. Well, where's the sun coming from? Never mind that.
I heard in some of your past interviews that you had a drumming background.
Oh, nice.
Not just air drumming. Yeah.
So talk to us about that, because we're both musicians.
Yeah, I'm a drummer, as a matter of fact. So
hey.
yeah,
I have a drum set here, and I pretend. I know how to paradiddle.
He can paradiddle. He can
Yeah.
right, left, right, left, right, left. Yeah.
So what's some of your favorite music? How does being a musician help you in your craft and all that? And do you have a favorite band? Or could you
Okay,
not
one
really
question
narrow
at a
that
time,
down?
dude. Like,
You know what?
slow down.
I'm just getting them all out before I forget them.
It's like, no, I grew up, well, now it's considered oldies, but classic rock. I was,
Yeah. Well, I grew up with classic rock too, so I get that.
yeah,
Yeah, the Claptons and Zeppelins and
yeah. My favorite band as a kid was like Kiss, and then I loved Aerosmith and Queen.
yeah,
And all that stuff, and I just kind of gravitated towards drums. And then I'm in middle school, and then marching band
right.
again, and then I never got to play the snare except maybe in middle school for 1 year, and then I did cymbals, and then bass drum, and then tritoms, triple toms my senior year.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was snare all 4 years of high school. Yeah. See, I wanted to play the quads though, but they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, and I'm left-handed, and I could never get the stick
yeah.
right, they would say, and I'm like,
I'm left-handed too. I'm like, that's with guitar, being in the guitar world. Like, you know how hard it is to find left-handed guitar. Like, you got to do things the way you do them, and people want to tell you you're doing it wrong. It's like, but if it sounds the same, is that cool? Isn't that all right? Isn't that cool?
I agree that it's weird. It looks weird in a world of the other way. So it's like, Hendrix and Kurt Cobain, and that's it, right? I don't know. You don't see many left-handed guitars, and you don't see many people play left-handed on the drums.
Right.
No, yeah.
Phil Collins would always do that.
Well, Phil Collins gets a pass.
I mean, Neil Peart just didn't have a direction, though. I mean,
it was a robot. And
yes,
emotionless. And then he went and got jazz lessons and was like, "Look, I'm a jazz drummer now," and sounded the exact same. Bless him. He was technically the best guitarist probably ever. But
yeah, and Rush was a band that I saw like 7 or 8 times, including their very last performance in LA.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So it's like, and in a sea, just at a Rush concert, of course, it's a sea of air drummers.
Right. Obviously.
Yes, we're all air drummers, air guitarists, all that stuff. But yeah,
now I got Working Man stuck in my head. Thanks for that.
No problem. Happy to help.
There are worse songs to have stuck in your head. There are definitely worse songs to have stuck in your head.
We used to, in high school, as the marching band, we always showed up early, and we would tailgate the home games, and Working Man was the song we would blare as the opposing team would come, and I would be the ram and charge at the buses, and we lost every game.
We did. I think we went 1-39 in our high school career.
Oh, wow.
But the band was amazing. We did great. Yes. People came to see us. After halftime, half the people were gone. It was great.
So you're also an anime fan. What were some of the animes you were really into before you really busted in to the scene as Gohan?
Golly, as a kid, I would watch Speed Racer. This is before anime was a term.
Right.
All just cartoons. So Star Wars comes out, and then they import and dub over, Battle of the Planets and Star Blazers, and in the 80s, Robotech.
Yeah.
Golly, Voltron, and Transformers, I guess.
Yeah, early Transformers was technically kind of anime.
Yeah. And they've since had some anime series from it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, golly, all that stuff goes way back. Ghost in the Shell, Akira.
Hell yeah.
Hellsing, I loved Vampire Hunter D because it was just campy and the dub was so bad. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z comes along in the mid '90s, and I was a huge fan. And then by 2000, my worlds collide. I was working as a DJ and in the radio, not club DJ. Yeah.
Right.
Introducing records. What are records? Oh, that kitschy retro thing that the kids are all about it. I'm like, yeah, I was there the first time. Yeah, that was fun times.
So, have you been watching any of the newer stuff?
No, there's just not enough time in the day. Outside of my scenes that I've dubbed, yeah, that hasn't. I feel bad because the fans are so passionate about it, and they'll ask me,
Right.
like, "Oh, you're so good in Seven Deadly Sins." It's like, that's awesome. I'm so glad it's popular, and I'm glad the fans are glad they're liking what I'm doing. It's like, what's your favorite episode? Like, I'll get back to you.
What's yours?
It is.
Oh yeah, mine is that
That's
too. See, that's how you got to start doing that now. You ask them what theirs is, and then you tell them that that's your favorite as well.
They're just happy to interact.
Of course, of course.
Especially during a pandemic, I choose to do more Twitch streams and interact and play games with them and all that, because I'm a gamer too. Button masher gamer, not competitive.
Right on.
Not good, just like hand me a controller and I'll just endlessly try shooting.
Oh, see,
I didn't realize you were on Twitch. Like
we got the same style.
I usually like look up all the guests we've had if they're on Twitch, and I didn't know you were on there. I'll have to get that from you.
There's people that stumble across my stream saying I was on the recommended page, which is weird because you think if that happens, then suddenly it'd have thousands of viewers, and I don't. But,
But yeah, I'll have to get that from you. What games are you playing then?
mostly Call of Duty. The zombie outbreak maps lately has just been,
Nice.
Nice.
I'm so addicted to that. Sometimes the fans will, suggest things. It's like, you're going to play Monster Hunter Rise? And it's like, never played a Monster Hunter before, but then I grab it and play with my subs, and it's like, okay, I'm still bad at this, but all right. Doing all that, and then Ryu, I recorded as Ryu for not just Street Fighter, but he, for some reason, appears in the Power Rangers game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Smash Brothers, you got.
In Smash, so this is Smash. Yes, that's right. And he showed up in Wreck-It Ralph, which is like
Yeah.
a bucket list thing. It's like, I'm not a movie star. How am I going to get in a Disney movie? Because they just, stunt cast.
Right.
That's like, they think that's the reason kids want to watch these movies. But I guess they're trying to hook the adults. It's like,
It worked. I mean,
Yeah,
I like that movie.
they were great movies.
Totally, and it works. And they'll throw a few scraps to the voice actors. It's like, bit parts. Like, I'll take it. Oh my god! I'm in a Disney movie for 10 seconds, but I'm in a Disney movie. Nah, I'll take it. Like, great.
Shoot.
Oh man! So outside of the stuff that you stream, what are some of like your kind of guilty pleasure video games? What's the stuff that you don't want to play on stream?
Oh god. Probably just some retro things, going back classic Nintendo things.
Oh yeah.
I have played once. I stuck the old classic Castlevania on there, and it's like, I'm losing them. I'm losing.
Nice. I've got my kids addicted to Super Nintendo now, and just busting out all those old 90s games.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's fun. It's so basic. I think if kids gave it more of a shot, like, they're so basic, they're fun.
Here it is, still in the box.
Yeah. Mine's right there. I'm not going to move the camera because that's a lot of work.
It's there. There it is. Yes. There's all this stuff, but meanwhile, I'm just like, put it all on the Switch. Put it on the Nintendo Online. And Great job.
I mean, they've put a lot of them on there. Not quite all of them, but there's a lot of them on there.
They're getting there. I want like classic Nintendo. There's a game that I loved called Ghoul School, and nobody else really knows much about it. I guess we were too poor to get a Super Nintendo for a while, so after we were supposed to be done with the Nintendo phase and into the Super Nintendo phase, I was still in classic Nintendo phase. I was always like 5 years behind.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, growing up, I played the Atari for quite a while too, and
It's like adventure. Like, what is this giant duck doing on here? It's like the dragon. Like, sure it is. I played E.T. and like, what does this do? Oh, he raises and lowers his neck. That's it.
Oh man.
Pac-Man looked nothing like the arcade one, but it was Pac-Man, and I got to play it at home.
And that's all that mattered. That's all that mattered.
I mean, we got pretty good at Pac-Man after a while, and like
Yeah.
Dr. Mario.
Yes.
All those little sort of, they seem like tedious games now, but back then it held your attention, you know.
Well,
Mhm.
Dr. Mario is part of my nightly routine, my wind down. Like, I'll play Call of Duty for about an hour, and my wife's
No
playing
shit.
Sims and other things on her iPad because she's not into console games, but
Right.
Mhm.
very cool. And then we're in our zone, and we'll put on podcasts. We'll like put on classic Art Bell talking about UFOs and paranormal and
Yes.
Nice.
Love that one.
or funny,
That's-
conspiracy theory things, just because
Yeah.
fun rabbit. And then we're playing our games, and yeah, I'll wind down with Dr. Mario on the mobile, just on iPhone for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Love it.
Do you have you ever listened to Two Dads in a Podcast? That's one I've kind of
I've heard about that because it's like two turntables and a microphone. It's
yeah.
a back thing.
It's a good podcast.
It is. It's a great name for a podcast.
I think it's all right.
It's
Yeah.
there. It's exactly what you're gonna get, and you can relate to it. It's like I'm a dad too. I mean, my kid's older. She's like 25, but
The funniest part about it is neither one of us came up with that name. It was my wife.
that's great. I love when these podcasts have those, like, remember that one podcast? And there's one called That One Podcast. I want to have a podcast that has some simple, catchy name like that.
I listen to Last Podcast on the Left every now and then. They do a lot of serial killer and murder stuff.
Beautiful.
For those of you who haven't listened to it, and that kind of, I'll be at work, working away, and somebody will come up while I'm listening to very detailed, gruesome murder like descriptions,
Yeah.
and talking to somebody else like this. My brain's in two places at once right now. You're gonna have to give me a minute. The podcast helps get through the days.
So one thing,
But are you in the place that, like, Kevin Smith can? He's like, he'll sit there with his friends and record a show, and they'll just post it. No editing, no anything. Are you guys like that, or do you take all the ums and the ahs out and just like
we're still editing the ums and ahs, but we're getting better with that. I do cut down most of the interviews. I'll cut down and cut out some dead space and stuff that doesn't really, if an interview goes on for 3 hours. We're not going to post a 3-hour episode.
We live stream our podcast on Twitch. So like this interview, he'll edit the interview, then we'll stream it on Twitch, send me the audio, I'll edit down the audio. But since it's live streamed, there's a lot more chaos going on.
Yeah.
We can't really focus and button down. I mean, we're
Like
dads,
yesterday,
so,
my
the
son
kids
ran in
will
the room.
come running in. So that causes some bit of, I'm trying to say like less, and we've already cut the ums down. We've brought the ums down. We honed in on that pretty well, but he does the Midwestern a lot. And I've fell into saying like a lot, and so there's little vices that are hard to just X out of your life until you listen back to yourself and you realize all the things that you habitually say that you never realized before.
Yeah, and is it still a cringe fest for you guys? I mean, from yourself, you're watching or listening to your podcast in whatever form, and you're like, oh, I wish this were,
this brings me to a question I always ask, which is, yes, it is cringy for me, especially like podcast vocalist and band. I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate hearing it back at me. So how do you feel about the sound of your voice when you're hearing things back?
I'm okay with it now because I've been in the industry for 20 years and was radio for 13, so I'm used to it. But I get it when people say, I hate the sound of my voice, because, obviously recorded or what the world hears is totally different than the vibrations in your head. So it's like, this is unnerving. Okay, I've chosen a weird profession or a weird speaking on. But, you just get used to it. And, you're either at peace with it or you embrace it, and whatever it is you need to use that focus towards. So
yeah. See, I've just kind of gotten used to it with editing and listening through, and having to re-listen to the same sections over and over. Okay, where am I going to make this cut? Where are we going to, edit this out? And how am I going to do this? So, like, I've just gotten used to listening to my voice over and
kind of like
over.
slowly poisoning yourself until you're acclimated to the
That's
poison.
right.
And then
That's right.
you're cool with the sound of your voice.
And it's this great balance. Again, I mentioned Kevin Smith because his flow with his co-host or whatnot it's so natural that you feel like you're just in the room. And I think that's when podcast works best. Even though I come from radio and I'm all about slick production and great VO and all the
buttons that make noises.
Yes, bells and whistles and sound effect stings and all that stuff. There's something to be said for just natural chemistry and just walking into a room or walking into a virtual room and hearing people having a conversation and it just flows.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've got that down. So you're close to 50 episodes. And so maybe people might talk over each other. That's normal. That happens in life. So, you don't have to worry about being, we're too slick for school or whatever.
I think to an extent we like the talking over each other. It's
a little bit.
It's awkward and messy, but it's a little more real. It feels more real, Well, I think
2 dads, yes, but with 5 or 6 dads, no, it would become the talk. Like, oh God, it's chaos! Stop.
Well, I have a little bit of a follow-up question.
To be Rosie O'Donnell. Sorry.
I have a little bit of a follow-up question to the voice thing. If you had to be stuck in one of your characters' voices, who would you want to be stuck in? Like, you had to talk like that for the rest of your life.
Oh my God. Well, maybe Gohan, just because it's pretty much me. It's my voice.
But different cadence and a different sort of vocabulary, though.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
I have to talk like Gohan. I have to be Gohan. Just this.
You have to be obsessed with Saiyaman and creating this superhero persona.
Oh, Saiyaman's a blast. He may be the Jar Jar Binks of Dragon Ball. But
I still appreciated it. Because we loved Gohan growing up. We were Gohan's age when we started watching Dragon Ball Z, so you relate to that character. You like that character. Yeah. What I didn't appreciate is how they constantly set him up to be like the strongest in the universe and then smacked him the fuck down.
Like the most badass character in the whole show. And then it's like, I'm a dad now.
It's like he's constantly having to restart. Why'd they do my man Gohan like that? Why'd they do him like that?
I just want to sit in a room with Akira Toriyama and saying, dude, why?
Well, if we ever get him on the show,
if you ever get him out from the depths of the earth or wherever he is, it's like, come on, I know you don't do press, you don't do interviews, but please, why Gohan? Why?
We had to talk this out. He had so much potential.
Yeah, he's not even mentioned in the Broly movie. Come on, it's like he doesn't exist. Like, but
I mean, he worked with the Kais. He was going to be the savior of the universe, and then you gave him a fucking sword. We're doing Kamehameha waves and spirit bombs, and you give him a fucking sword. I felt bad for him. Loved the show. He was still like, I had such high hopes. Man. And then does he win the tournament of the universe? No. 17 does.
Yes.
What a slap in the fucking
comes
face.
Out of nowhere, hasn't been in the show for a long time, and then he's the savior.
But in the Tournament of Power, it's like, I'm helping. Like at least a good show. Guys, I've still got it.
And they still teased you like he could be the strongest.
Well, yeah, because he ascends Super Saiyan. He doesn't even transform anymore. It's just his normal black hair, and he's still that strong. And then it's meh.
Like, so we're gonna lobby for your character.
Thank you.
Yes.
Grassroots it. We're gonna.
We'll figure this out.
So you guys did Dragon Ball Z Kai, and sometimes they like to recast for these things. Thankfully, they kept
a lot of
the same people.
Yeah.
Good.
When are we getting Naruto Kai? Because I just finished through Shippuden and just angry ranting about all the unnecessary scenes.
I was on the other side of that rant.
And it's such a good story. It's such a good anime, and it's so well done. But my God, there's a lot that could be cut out of that
problem, and I'm sure One Piece. I'm sure it's out there. It's like after 900 episodes, it can't all be gold. It just can't.
There are more episodes of that than there are Pokemon. Come on now.
Yes.
That's insane.
And when you have episodes up in the triple digits or more, it's like, no, I'm never going to start this because I'll never get through it.
I watched most of Bleach once, and then I just stopped, and then I read the manga.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'll just finish the story this way, and then no, I'm good. I don't need this anymore.
Is there any world that you haven't been in that you would really love to dive into, whether it be anime or outside of anime, as an actor?
I've done some cartoon stuff, and that's the most fun. That's what my goal was ever since I was a kid. It's like, I want to voice cartoons, like domestic stuff, because when I grew up and learned, it's like, oh, they record the audio first, and then they do the video, and then if need be, it's wonky, and then they'll come in and have to redub those things. But at large, it's a whole team. It's all the actors in a room. Not now, obviously, but, you know, in a perfect world without a pandemic and people, even we could socially distance, actually, because everyone has their own mic and everyone has their own stand. And it's like a radio play. And I love that. Theater of the mind, again, coming from radio. It's like, yes, we get to build these characters with our voice, with our performance, and just the fun of watching other people perform. Watch them screw up. Just like, oh, good. It's not just me. Like, these are cold reads. You're reading this stuff for the first time, and especially if it's cartoons, you're going to give them a couple of takes with the as written and verbatim and all that. But a lot of times in that wacky world of cartoons, the directors are like, okay, let's just have fun with it, and then that's what gold is. You know, you get Billy West going on things, and Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche and all these legends, and they just like, just magic. I would love to just live in that world, and it's such a hard nut to crack. It is just so hard, but I'm so blessed that in 20 years I can say I'm making a living doing what I love, and I open my eyes and open my ears and open my mind to the fact that voice acting is not just any one particular thing. You're still doing the craft, and it may just be a commercial selling something, but it is a role. It is a character. And audiobooks or corporate training videos and all that. It's like they're all different beasts, but kind of in the same family. So
I've watched a lot of corporate training videos. Yes. I would much rather if it were you presenting them
as the narrator from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
I'd get a kick out of that. That'd be glorious.
So I do have to ask, because one of our Patreon subscribers, known as Hellhound, has a question, and that question is, who would win in a fight? Goku, All Might, or Super Mario?
Goku. He's an alien.
Thank you.
That's fair. See, I told him that my opinion on that would be is if it had the rules of Super Mario, like if he just jumps on their head, do they power down? If he gets to like Super Saiyan 3, does he then jump down to 2 and then 1 and then he's just a normal like being? Like, you know,
he's still Goku. Okay, man, come on.
I mean, 4 jumps on his head from Super Saiyan 3 and then he's dead. I mean,
I'd hate to see that sort of violence taken out on Mario. He doesn't stand a chance. I'd be like,
he doesn't deserve this.
He'd be splattered quick.
All the people who want Goku in Smash Brothers, it's just not fair. It just wouldn't be fair.
You're right. You're right. And I didn't think Ryu would show up either.
That's true.
True. I did not see that one coming. But
Castlevania characters, and you know, like they've really gone out of their way for some of that. So
the game I wish I were better at, and I'm so bad. And then everyone just loves that.
I collect the amiibo. Like I could move my camera. I have like 130, 140, however many amiibo there are. And so what I'll do is I don't play. If I've got it up, I'm on Twitch, and I will put 8 amiibo on, and then we gamble with my channel points. So you get to like vote on who wins, and you get more points, and and I just narrate. It. Because I am terrible. My amiibo get to max level, and I can't beat them anymore.
This isn't even my final form. Actually, it is. It's still there. I'm like, okay, what? That's cool. I'm like a sponge when it comes to like, what do people do on their stream? It's like you can't just play games and respond to the chat. What should you do to be more active? Play the
I
price.
don't.
Right. Yes. There you go.
I don't know. This is all new to me. I'm only like 6 months into this all this shit, and
He had no idea what Twitch was before we started the
I didn't.
podcast. So
No, I have a twitch every now and then when I get nervous, and that's about the extent of my knowledge was. It started and ended there. I didn't know what Discord was. I'd never been on Zoom.
I mean, to be fair, I hadn't been on Zoom either. That was new.
Everybody has now, just
Yeah.
about.
I think that's a requirement for living in these times.
We all have to learn new technology. Like with Twitch, I inevitably had to what's a capture card? What's OBS? Like, oh my God, I got to learn all this crap.
Oh, by the way, what is a capture card?
What is a capture card? You connect it to the console, and then the capture card on the other end is connected to your computer.
I'll show you the next time you're over. I can just...
Now you're getting the video from your game and the audio from your game into your stream. So, yeah.
Okay.
So you can do console. Yep. Yeah. It's a card that captures.
And I didn't understand it for years of just I can just point the camera at the TV.
I get the concept, and I would probably still screw it up if I tried to apply it myself.
I did screw up a lot of times. It's like, what's wrong? Like, oh,
why isn't it reading? Oh, I have the in and the out port, and
yes, in through the out port. Wasn't that was the last Led Zeppelin album, wasn't it? In through the out port.
That's Robert Plant's solo album.
So,
all right,
it was an absolute joy to talk to you.
Absolutely was. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time, and you have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna go warm up because it's cold in my office.
Yeah, we'll talk at you, man. We'll talk at you another time. Stay in touch with the emails, and
sure
we'll say hi every now and then. See how you're doing.
Thanks so much, man.
All right.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, this is Felix, and you've been listening to the Two Dads at a Podcast interview series. For more content, like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitch, and everywhere podcasts are available. To help us bring you more of these amazing interviews, you can support us on our Patreon. Just follow the links below, and thanks for watching.